Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan and thank you for coming to the channel. I appreciate your support, patronage, comments, criticism, and just in general enthusiasm for the hobby. That's why we all are in this, and that's why I make these silly videos, and why I absolutely adore keeping heavily planted tanks like this one, my 32-gallon long. It's a gorgeous aquarium that I bought from SR Aquaristic, rimless with that really sweet like black seal. Creates a bit of a frame without impeding the awesome effect of a rimless aquarium. The reason why in particular I'm making this film today is I wanted to talk about this specific aquarium plant, Hudrocotyle Japan, or as I call it, Japanese clover, Japan clover. Now this plant is super cool, and while it can be a little bit tentative to get going in your aquarium, given the right conditions, it becomes a stupendous and versatile plant addition. I read that this plant was made, quote unquote, popular or famous by the Japanese aquascaping community. I guess that's why it's called Hudrocotyle Japan, and in particular Takashi Amano, the famed aquascaper that now you can get his books are really expensive, out of print, and they're gorgeous, and pretty much every aquascaper around the world who's interested at the hobby in a high level is familiar with that man and his work. ADA, that high-end aquarium equipment manufacturer, is an offshoot of his teachings and his workshops. Not sure what the business relationship that he had with ADA was or is. I don't know if they just co-opted his name. What I do know is this plant, along with a few others, came out of his teachings and is now an integral part of a lot of fabulous aquascapes, including mine. I don't know how fabulous it is, and it's pretty overgrown at this point, so calling it an aquascape, I'd be hard pressed to say anything beyond a choreographed jungle, which is how a lot of my tanks, and I imagine a lot of your tanks, have become over not so much time, given high light and CO2. So this plant can be foreground, midground, background. It grows up. It stays to the bottom. If you blast it with light and trim it, you can get, I wouldn't say it's a carpeting effect, but you get this wonderful undergrowth that can be a couple inches high. It's very delicate and dainty plant. It can get super toxic emerald green. I don't mean toxic like poisonous, but that color like toxic green. Or it can be a little bit more fragile in its color, like you're seeing here. I believe this plant's very healthy, even though the leaves have a yellow tint to them. And that could be a function of the color, the reddish brown of my aqua soil, and the way my RGB slim light has been set. Maybe if I change the light settings, it would show more green, but I'm 95% certain it's a super healthy plant and not deficient in any way, shape, or form because of its shape and form, actually, the way it's been spreading and growing. What's really cool is you see how, well, there's a hill stream loach getting in the picture. There's a white cloud mountain minnow, but it sends up these delicate little stems with the beautiful clover leaves, and you can see how fragile the stems are, but yet the plant overall is pretty hardy. And you see the delicate root systems. Those will eventually reach the substrate, and over time it can anchor the plant to the substrate. But in general, the plant almost seems to be floating along the bottom and middle of your aquarium. You see here it's sending out more plants, which we'll find in a nubius leaf or a piece of rock, or here you go, Hygrophila pinnafatata, this stem plant, very opportunistic, and it will just carefully wrap itself around the plant and continue its growth stage. And it never hurts the other plants because it's so fragile and it's so airy. The light and water and circulation, as well as the creatures in the aquarium, can all easily navigate through it. So it's a wonderful plant to let go nuts in your tank. I'm going to show you, this is just, here we go, this is just a chunk of it here that I don't know what, I might bring it to my LFS, give it to my mom for her aquarium. If I wanted to, I could start to try to grow it out of the water. That can be it can do that too. Although I think you need to take certain care in order for that to happen. You can't just pull the plant out of the water and put it above it and hope for the best. I think you need to sort of keep it super moist. Other factors that I am not 100% clear on because I'm not trying to grow it that way, but it'll stay up here. Little fish fry from my live bears will happily go in betwixt and between it, but of course with these floating plants and everything else, the water sprite in the back there, the luscious wall of Vallisneria, there's plenty of places for fry, so I don't need it for that, but many people use it for something like that, or just a great contrasting plant to the more heavily leafed nubius, the more darker green plants, your more classic aquarium plants. This one adds a feminine feature, if you will, and I mean that in the best sense of that word. It's frilly in all the right ways, and I don't have any other plant that's quite like it, and I just wanted to show that off and tell you guys and gals to get yourself a little pot or a clump of it at a swap or online and see what happens in your aquarium. Okay, everybody, hope you appreciated that, and as always, keep your hands in the tank. Ciao for now.